Hi, everyone. My name is Rita Egidio, and I am the host of the Influential Creatrix. And I have a new guest. And I always ask my guests to present themselves. Point one, because I want to be sure I can pronounce your name correctly. Point two, nobody tells better your story than yourself.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rita. My name is Lacy Jane, and I am a transformation coach. I am with Journey to Cloud 9, and I'm located in Texas. I am out in the country, north of Fort Worth. So I love being up here in North Texas. And I do all of my work based on an approach that is addressing thoughts, feelings, and beliefs simultaneously. And that is what we created Journey to Cloud 9 to be all about, is our independent, individual, unique journeys to what we perceive as our Cloud 9 and those goals that we want to get to live our best lives.
Okay, that's interesting. I want to know, point one, what is Cloud 9? Or better, point one, what is your why and your story behind you become a coach?
Okay. Yes, all of that goes together. So I started learning personal development and business development through a couple different avenues as I was trying to figure out how to be a stay-at-home mom and work from home and build my own business and all those things about 9 years ago now. And through my journey that included a total health crisis where I had to learn new natural options because I didn't want to take a pill for the rest of my life, like I was told. I have a very scientific background and I have a master's in biotechnology. And so I was a huge science believer until I was pregnant with my first baby. And then I was like, oh, everything has to change. I need to be aware of what I put in my body and go natural routes with all the things. So after she was born and I had a bit of a health crisis, I then wanted to get to the root of it and I wanted to solve it, not put a Band-Aid on it. And that just changed my life. And that was the first thing that changed my life in wanting to find options and help others, because I went through all that by myself. So once I got through that, regained my health naturally, I found that God just kept putting people in my path that had very similar ailments and issues that I had and gave me the opportunity to help other people through that. And then that just kept growing into so nutrition and supplements and essential oils and some energy work. And so as I kept collecting modalities and collecting experience, I then started partnering with a friend of mine who did some coaching that I used. She and I used each other's services, and it helped so much to pair up and for both of us to be using both modalities. That is why we ended up joining forces to create Journey to Cloud 9, is to have all of our clients using all of our modalities. And so as I went through my journey of collecting different tools and modalities that would help me, I then paired them together in a way where other people wouldn't have to do all the research and trial and error that I had to do to piece it all together. And she did the same on her journey. So then we came together and did it again to mold it into something that we can efficiently and effectively help people without them wanting to or needing to do all the research and trial and error that we did. So ultimately, our why is to help other people transform themselves and reach the goals that they have for themselves without necessarily having to go through all we went through to be able to do that. And so why Journey to Cloud 9 is because I think most people are aware for themselves what that idea of Cloud 9 is. And it's not the same for every person. So if you come out of a meeting with a friend or a lunch date or coffee date or something, a great job interview or whatever that is, and you're like, oh my goodness, I am on Cloud 9. Like I'm vibrating at such a high energy. I'm ecstatic, whatever the words are that someone would use. We understand when somebody says cloud nine, it means that high vibration, wonderful feeling, elated. And we were just thinking one day as we were developing our coaching packages and trying to figure out how we can put all this together in an easy, manageable way for people. And we're like, why do we always think that cloud nine feeling is a momentary, passing, fleeting feeling? Like, we want to live there.
Control, then you don't control, right? You never know when it's coming.
Right, exactly. And so we're like, you know what? We want to be on the journey to living on cloud nine. Like, we want to constantly be making choices and bettering ourselves and growing towards our goals in a way that we're living on cloud nine, not momentarily experiencing the feeling of cloud nine. So that's where we came up with the journey to cloud nine. We want to help people begin their journey to living on cloud nine.
I'm curious to know, how was the transition from working with yourself or for yourself or with the tools that you found and the moment then you start being paid for that?
Well, that was not an easy transition because I helped a whole lot of people for free before I ever charged anybody any money. And that's a worthiness thing. For me, it was a worthiness thing. I was so tenderhearted about how difficult it was to go through the things I went through alone by myself, having to figure it all out myself, that I just developed this passion that nobody should have to go through this by themselves. And for me personally, living out in a rural area and having started that journey when I was new to this area, I had just moved out here. I had just become a mom. I went from being a successful businesswoman, Miss Independent and traveling and working, to having our first baby, the first year of our marriage, and settling down, buying a home, having a baby, all the first year of the marriage. And I knew I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but I had no clue what that was going to look like, right? So that was a huge transition. And then the health stuff. So that just put me in a position of, I just want to help people not feel alone when they're going through this. And I did so much research because that's my strong suit. Like, I love digging into the science of things. And I wanted to help people who didn't understand the science. It was, I had a soft spot for people who were like, I can't do that because I don't understand it. I can't research the way that you do. Oh, well, here, I'll just hand you all my research. You don't have to. I'll just give you the bullet points and you can glean from that what you need. And ultimately, I ended up in a position getting a certification and being part of a group that encouraged me and helped me grow through that aspect of being worthy of charging people for all the time and effort I was pouring into helping people get healthy. And that's how that started. And so now, as I have a more well-rounded program and a partner and a full-on business, I understand that. But that too was a growth process.
How was the first time you were paid?
Amazing.
How was the process? How was the process?
I didn't expect to be paid. And she had such great results and great faith in what we were going to produce together. One of my very first clients, that she's like, okay, well, what do you charge? And I'm like, oh, well, I hadn't really thought about that. She's like, no, I'm paying you. And I'm like, oh, okay. This is wonderful. Like,
how much it was? Do you remember? Do you want to share?
Like $200, I think, for a package. It wasn't even $200, for one session. Yeah. For a package. And it warmed my heart so much because it was somebody I trusted and respected myself, that for her to turn around and she's, probably old enough to be my mother, and that idea of having respect for our elders and that they have more, wisdom or experience or whatever, it really opened the door to in her line of expertise, she has more wisdom and experience than me. But in my line of expertise, I'm the one that gets to lead this and help her. And so it was a learning experience, but it was wonderful. And it really opened the door to selling bigger packages, doing group sessions, doing stuff online. Of course, this started well before all the COVID stuff. So it wasn't forced to be online, but it opened my eyes to being online, which set me up to have much better success during COVID to help people when they really needed it and to do it all online.
Who's your tribe?
What's that?
Who's your tribe? What tribe do you attract? What's your people?
My tribe, yes. Okay, so I am a mom of young children, so I attract a lot of the same
Moms.
Moms. Those of us who are too busy for our own good, right? And don't know how to say no, and we need to figure out like something's got to give.
Don't put the mask first, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes. I've been separated for 2 years and am about to finalize my divorce. And that was an entire journey and journey out of a toxic situation. And so now that I'm able to also put a hand out to help women through situations like that is a real blessing to me. I do feel that we all have experiences that come full circle to our benefit to help others that are just a step behind us. And I love that. So busy working women and women needing to start that journey after having toxic situations are really who I love to help.
Mm-hmm. I'm there, so I'm with you. Tell us a little bit about your partner and how you found your friend and how do you guys decide to work together? How is that process?
Yeah, so she and I met many years ago, maybe 15, 16 years ago. Okay. Whenever we were fresh out of college, we, had our first real jobs, and we met through a mutual friend that I worked with, and we were kind of drinking buddies, if I'm going to be honest, and so back when we were young and full of energy, right?
And free, younger.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. And so we were great friends then for several years, and we were living in Dallas area at the time, and we moved away. She's lived around the world. I lived around the country. And then once we settled almost at the same time with marriage and children, we both had individual of one another, had that epiphany of we need to have natural things in our lives. Like we need to stop with, the chemicals and, all the things. Oh, sorry. And so our paths crossed again over natural options and our first children being born. And that brought us along this path of learning all the natural things together and learning all these wonderful things that we're like, why didn't we know this sooner? Why didn't anybody ever teach us this? And so that began our coaching and our journey. And so once we were both working through some tough stuff and using each other's services, that's what brought us together and be like, we need to do this as a business partner. Because honestly, whenever I was working with a client and be like, oh, you really need to have a few sessions with my friend Katrin, who you've interviewed before, Katrin Becker, and you really need to have a session with her. And she would tell her clients, you need to have a session with my friend Lacy Jane. But we felt like we were trying to upsell them, or they felt like we were trying to upsell them, like, oh, spend money with my friend too. And we didn't want that. We wanted them to know that we had their best interest at heart. And so that's ultimately what led us to doing this together in a way where we always want our clients to know that we have their best interest at heart, and that individualization is very important for us. That's like one of our big things is authenticity and individualization. We want everyone to understand that we're helping them as a guide to their highest self. We're not selling them a package that's going to get them to a standard goal, right? That like everybody's trying to reach the same goal. That's not it at all. And so that's kind of what brought us to that, is wanting all of our clients to see both of us.
And what kind of offers do you guys have now?
Well, thanks to COVID, what we really like to do is we have a 12-week jumpstart program where it takes the best of all of our tools and modalities and puts it together the most efficient way, so that in 12 weeks, people can go through and learn about their strengths, about how to live in their strengths. And so this is our behaviors. This is when we're wanting to add positive behavior into our lives to reach our goals. And our experience with that up to this point has not led to the goals that we wanted, because our mindset and our feelings and our thoughts were not simultaneously being addressed with the behaviors that we're trying to add in. Likewise, whenever we're addressing the thoughts and feelings, the mindset of what we're working towards, those efforts in the past, most people would say they didn't get the results they wanted because it was coming up against the behaviors they weren't changing. Mm-hmm. And so we're addressing all of this together: thoughts, feelings, emotions, behaviors, in a way that in 12 weeks, we can get people progressing towards their goals in a way that they've never seen before. And we're providing them tools that they can use long after our 12 weeks is over, even if they don't choose to work with us more than just the 12 weeks. But that's what we have found in this time frame of economic uncertainty and COVID and all the things that we've dealt with the past couple of years, that 12 weeks is something someone can commit to, and it makes it affordable without the financial burden being something too much to worry about. So yes, we had other 12-month programs and stuff, but really we just want people to try the 12-week jumpstart and go from there, get as much out of it as you possibly can, and you'll be set to use those tools for the rest of your life, even if you never choose to work with us again.
Nice. What is your superpower?
Ooh, so I am really big into the Clifton strengths. So anybody that understands that will understand what I say in that. I'm very futuristic and belief driven and developing others. So my superpower is the potential, or seeing potential in others and helping them see it too. And I love that. And like any superpower, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because sometimes other people don't see that potential, or I would say I might be a little set on the potential that I see in someone, and then have to reel it in because it's not my business if whether they want to reach that potential or not, but superpowers come with definitely a double-edged sword.
I have exactly the same capacity and exactly the same problem. Sometimes it's so clear the potential, but then we try our best. We almost want to use them as like puppets, right? Like just, and cannot be. It's not our job of that. If they decide to not live their full potential, you need to let them go.
Yeah.
What are your plans for the future as a businesswoman and as a woman?
So great question. I have my very first focus is my girls. I'm raising 2 girls. So I like to be able to keep a priority of teaching them by example. And I really want to be running my business and growing my business in a way that they see the different types of opportunities of working from home, and it exposes them to, like, some of the people I work with, business associates as well as clients and stuff that they get exposed to really not embrace, but to be exposed to many different types of people and to be welcoming and understanding that there's so many different opportunities in the world where that's a different way than I was raised, which is you should go to college and go, to your 8 to 5 job, and you should work at the same company forever and all those things. And so that is one area of it in parenting. I really want my children to understand that and to think outside the box, and to use my superpower in the best way possible for them, because ultimately that's where it comes out the worst sometimes, is you see their potential and you see, what kind of great person they can be because you're with them all the time. And then, they make a mistake because we're all human and they're kids, and trying to keep my own patience and stuff. So that's one aspect of it. And then the other aspect of it is that as Katrin and I are growing Journey to Cloud 9, we are also in the stages of finalizing a contract with a franchise to bring a portion of what we do in our 12-week jumpstart into a franchise model so we can help even more people. And ultimately, that is our biggest goal, is to help people. And how many more people can we help? How can we scale our business? And that's something we've been looking at for a while now. Well, since the beginning, we love doing this, but how do we scale it? As we continue to grow, how do we scale it? And we've been introduced to an opportunity to be able to really scale a portion of what we do in a franchise situation. So we are working on negotiations and finalizing a franchise that will really help people relax and reclaim control of what our thoughts and our minds and our emotions are doing to us, and really be in control of that for ourselves again, and relax. And so that's what I'm up to.
Nice. And what you want your girls to say about their mom when they are 20 something?
Oh boy. That's probably something I should have thought about before now.
No, it's okay.
I think I'm so much in that single mom, work from home, small kids situation.
Yeah, they will grow up. Let me tell you, they will grow up.
And I'm like, well, some days I just my job is to make sure they survive the day,
Make sure they eat.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I think in 20 years, I would love for my children to say that their mother was able to find a balance between making sure they were respectful and following the rules and having fun. Trying to find a balance that allowed us to do both.
Do you have self-love habits then they can see than you are doing?
Yes. And so they know that I really like going on nature walks. And so as a family, we like to go hiking, but even daily, I go on walks around the property, and some of the time they're with me and we're holding hands and we're chatting, and then it's like, okay, I need to go for at least one lap by myself. You can jump on the trampoline, mommy has to have some quiet alone time. And that's my happy place. And so they do understand that. And the idea of when they go, oh, it's so cute. When they go with their dad for the weekend or something, my older daughter, she's 9, she'll tell me, she's like, now mom, while we're gone, you should sleep in. It's okay for you to sleep in while we're not here, because you don't have to take care of us tomorrow. And that is just, it warms my heart for her to understand that she loves to sleep in. And so on the weekends, on the weekend, when I don't plan anything early and I let her sleep in, and she sees that as she's not a teenager yet, right? So she sees that as a special thing. And so for her to turn around and give that to me every time she leaves for an overnight, I like that too. That take care of yourself. Don't work all weekend, mom. Clean. Don't worry about cleaning the house. You should sleep in. So,
so lovely. Okay, now I have another tricky question.
Okay.
What message did you send to yourself 2 years ago?
Oh, that is a great timeline.
I know.
Okay. So 2
I
years
will
ago.
listen to you. I'm focused and know exactly what you said. So I'm going there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll go there. 2 years ago, May, let's see, today's May 3rd,
May
2nd.
3rd.
And so March 2 years ago is when my husband walked out.
Mm-hmm.
And so 2 years ago, I was daily walking my paths in my property here and doing my nature walks and praying and meditating and affirmations full of, I can do this. I can build this company. I can pull myself and my girls together. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just knew that there were so many women who needed help and guidance and assistance in things similar to what I had been through. And my marriage was finally over. Like, there was no more helping it. He left. And I knew after the third day that he was gone, I knew it was just like a switch flipped. And I was like, I'm going to be okay. This is for the best. This is a much more healthy option for me and the girls. And I get to rewrite the rest of this. All the things that I had been worrying about while married on how to move forward.
You are free.
And I can wad up that story and, throw it in the fire, and I get to rewrite this. So it was at the 2 years ago mark.
So a message to yourself.
So the message to myself was focus on my priorities, make sure that my priorities are aligned, and take the next right step. I had no idea how I was going to make it work. But it was always take the next right step. I'm
obsessed with the quote. Probably you feel aligned with you now. I'm constantly talking about this quote today. I don't know why. You are the person who take ownership of the result before you have any clue how to get the result. Right?
Yeah.
We just know. I believe in certain people. We know inside of us. It's a gut feeling, is a deep gut feeling. I'm going through divorce, and I'm away from my kids, so my situation is different than yours. And I have a girl with 7 years, and it breaks my heart, and I'm far away from her. The other ones are teenagers, and I need to tell you, and I hope with you is different. Teenager, I had kids very young. I was 19, and my oldest kids are adults. And I always had this saying that, they will love me forever, because I lost my mom. So it's not exactly true. Okay. Maybe you are lucky because you have girls. I just have one girl. The rest is all boys. But they will prioritize their friends, their boyfriends more than us. And that is so tough. I don't know if that is going to happen to you, or I hope not. I hope your kids can see how beautiful you are and everything you did for them. But just be ready. I think the most painful thing for me was when they don't want you to kiss them anymore. You cannot, when you arrive to school, you cannot hug, you cannot kiss. You need to be aware what you dress, because they will say, Mom, you cannot come like this. And so it's like, let's not focus a lot on that. I hope that because you have girls and you are raising them like that, it's slightly different. But boys, at least my experience was like that. I just feel like I felt my heart broken, because I had so many expectations to be deeply loved for my kids until like being the most important thing in their life, and did not happen like that. I want to end point one with you guys' website, and I know already, but we can say it again.
So it's cloud9.com is the website, and we have a Facebook group. So if you go to the groups, you can search Journey 2 Cloud 9, and that will be our Facebook group. And then I can provide you with a link if you would like to do a free session. I do 20-minute consultations with people, complimentary, to see if we would be a good fit or to ask more questions about the 12-week jumpstart. So I would be happy to provide that link to you as well.
Perfect. I will be happy to provide 1 full hour of my time for you guys to talk with me and think about your franchising and how to amplify your success. So we can share that links between us. And I want to say thank you to you, because it was a lovely conversation.
Yes, I absolutely adored getting to chat with you, and thank you so much for the opportunity. I look forward to getting to work together a little bit too. So that'll be great.
So please, are we connected on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, so send me the links. I will send you the invitation, and we are good. I'm going to say bye to our friends on YouTube. Thank you so much, guys, for listening, watching, commenting, liking, and following, subscribing to this channel. And now I'm going to say bye to Lacy properly.